Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Defining discipline is a lifestyle, a mentality, and a brand. And within this podcast, we're going to focus on self-improvement as you follow along with me on my journey. We will also hear from special guests of all walks of life on this podcast and their remarkable journeys that led them to where they are today. Today is day 101 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days out of the year, all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,250 miles within that time frame. This is only my second year ever running. Within the first year of running, I was able to run 1,000 miles within about 180 days. So this is a 25% step up in the amount of miles I'll be doing, as well as a 100% step up in the amount of days I'll be running. And within this challenge, I also challenged myself to run my first ever 50K trail race. That's coming up here in June. It's in Yankee Springs, Michigan. I'm really looking forward to that. Trying to get it done in right around 5 hours and 22 minutes is the time I'm trying to finish in. I'm also running this year my first officially timed marathon. That is in October in Detroit. And I'm trying to hopefully get that somewhat under 5 hours. So other than that, guys, let's kind of just talk about today and mileage and all of that stuff. So for today, day 101, I decided to get out there after missing a few miles these past few weeks. I decided I really wanted to try to get out there and pump out a little extra miles this week. So, decided to just get the half marathon for April done real quick. Got that done today, so I put in 13.1 for the day. That put me at 37.8 miles for the week. It's the most I've ever done in a week. Really stoked about that. But the bare minimum I've been trying to get in a week is 25, and I say that because in order for me to hit my yearly goal, I have to average just over 100 miles per month, and that equals out to 25 miles per week. But I've been really trying to hit at least 33 miles per week. But this week, like I said, I went over, hit 37.8, really stoked about that. Now, for the month, like I said, I have to hit at least over 100 in order to hit my yearly goal every month. So I decided why not make a challenge out of it. So every month I decided to do a 100-mile challenge in honor of different charities and raise money for different fundraisers. And in the month of January, we raised money for the American Cancer Society and was able to do the 100-mile challenge. In the month of February, we raised money for the Detroit Black Community Food Security Network and was able to do the challenge. And in the month of March, we raised money for Dolly Parton's Imagination Library and was able to complete the challenge. So now we are sitting here in the month of April, and we are raising money for Autism Speaks. So the month of April is Autism Awareness Month. So I really wanted to try to raise money for Autism Speaks this month. You can find the link to donate to this month's fundraiser on my personal or the Defining Discipline Instagram and Facebook stories. So if you want to donate to this fundraiser this month, you can find the link in the stories, and within the stories, you just click on it. It'll open up another page on Facebook for you to donate however much money you would like to donate. And I would like to tell you guys, I know times are tough right now, so you might get a little turd. Sorry, guys. I know times are tough right now, so you guys might not be able to afford to be able to donate a lot of money. But don't feel bad if you can only donate a little bit. Even $1, everything goes a long way. It helps out. So if you guys can donate, please don't be ashamed to donate because you could donate a little bit. It goes a long way. It helps out. They will appreciate it. I will appreciate it. Thank you so much. Just donate, please. And I understand, though, that times are tough right now and you may not be able to donate at all. But if you still want to help out, especially this month, just share this fundraiser. Let other people know that you are friends with, that I'm not friends with, or might not follow the Defining Discipline page. Let them know about this fundraiser so they can donate, and we can raise money for Autism Speaks for the month of April. So let's really try to get some money raised and raise some awareness here in this month of April. And like I said, you can find the link on the Defining Discipline or my personal Facebook or Instagram story. And I would like you to know that all donations that get made go directly to the fundraiser and charity. 0% goes to Facebook, 0% goes to me. That is a really cool thing. I'm going to continue to go through Facebook with these fundraisers and charities because they decided to take 0% of the cut. So, for miles for the month, I think I told you already, but we're sitting at 53.6 for the month, and that put me at 418.4 for the year. So after today's 13.1 run, we're sitting at 37.8 for the week, 53.6 for the month, and 418.4 for the year, guys. Now, all that being said, let's get into today's episode 101. And if you know the reference to 101, you're going to understand today's theme. So today's theme is basics. And I want to talk about basics because sometimes we get ahead of ourselves and we are overconfident and we think we understand things and we try to do things different. And sometimes the best route to always take is just to stick with the basics and just to continue just busting your way through. Yes, there are advancements and things that can make you faster and better and change your way of working or whatever the case may be. But again, sometimes the best thing to do is just stick to the basics. Now, I think if you are a new runner, you quickly kind of learn the basics about running. The best thing that I love about running, and especially when you start getting into it, is it's you versus yourself. So you're the only one holding yourself back. You don't have to worry about a team or any of that. But the best thing about running, again, is it's pretty basic. Okay? One foot in front of the other. Yes, you can get more advanced and get all crazy with splits, and you can intervals and fartleks and all these different kind of runs you can do. Or maybe that's not who you want to be. Maybe you can the whole point of you is just running. It's not about how fast you do it. It's not about getting faster. It's just about getting out there and getting the miles. Just sticking to the basics of just one foot in front of the other and just going. And that's something that I kind of do. Like, I have been trying to work on my speed and do a little bit of interval work and all this stuff. But the one thing I've really done is I've tried to stray away from a specific and set in stone training plan, and I'm trying to just kind of go with just basics, just run. If my body feels like I can push it hard that day, push it hard. If my body's really sore that day but I still need to put in the miles, still go out, put in the miles, but just don't go full ham. So I'm just trying to stick to the basics, because when you try to add in more things, you kind of overdo it. And that's the main thing, is trying to stick to the basics. And I kind of really wanted to touch on basics here today too. And I want to kind of give a touch back to these past two episodes, because they kind of all written themselves like 99 problems. Okay, of course, we all heard that Jay-Z song. Makes sense. And it just kind of fell into the lap where I was actually and was going through problems. So, boom, 99 problems. Boom, right there. 100%. It just fell in the lap of sitting, Okay, let's talk about 100%. Okay, now we're talking about 101. Everyone knows 101 is when you're a beginner and you start learning things. It's the basics of something, whatever it may be. So, boom, basics. Now we got these last 3 episodes. And what I really love about, not only did they just kind of fall into place, but they're all tied to each other. You can almost call this the trinity, the trifecta of what to do. So when you come across problems and you start hitting problems, the main thing for you to do is continue on. Give it your 100%. No matter what that problem is doing, just focus on giving it your 100%. And stick to the basics. Okay? Not only do you give it your 100%, but just stick to the basics. Don't make it look all don't, try to make it look all pretty. Don't, try to stick handle through the whole entire team when all you got to do is pass it to the, your left winger for them to pass it back across to the right winger for them to dump it back to you in the slot for you to open net because the goalie's drawn out, or however you want to look at it. The point is you can try to make it pretty and overdo it, or you can just stick to the basics, give it your 100%, and don't let the problem stop you. You can figure out any way around whatever problem it is. It may seem like it's the end of the world, but if you stick to the basics, give it your 100%, no problem can stop you. So this is the trifecta, the 99, the 100, the 101st episode. I feel like they just go so well together. When you come across a problem, give it your 100% and just stick to the basics. That's all you can do. And if it doesn't work out for you, it wasn't meant to be, and 2, you can't blame yourself. You want to know why? Because you gave it your 100% and you stuck to what works. You didn't try nothing new. You didn't try to fancy it up. You didn't try to make it all special. You just stuck to the basics. And that's the main thing, is sometimes you can get all pretty with things, but sometimes it's best just to do it the way it's always been done. Just stick to the basics. So for today, episode 101, for your daily discipline, I want you guys to stick to the basics. Whatever the basics it is in your case. For me, running. One of the basic things that I've learned, so for today, I ran 13.1 miles. One thing that I learned really early on was I used to want to run just loops, okay? 13 miles, okay, let's break it up. Let's say 12 miles, okay? Let's break it up into 4 loops of 3, and I can just run 4 times around this loop of 3 miles. So just do it 4 times. That was my way of thinking. And on the first or second loop, if I wanted to, I could stop and get water. And one of the basic things I've learned from trying to do that, especially when you're trying to learn and run new miles and get a bigger mileage, is that's your biggest enemy is loops. Your best thing you can do in those situations is to just run straight directly out, away, farthest away from your house as possible. At least for me, that's one of the basic things that I keep in mind, especially when I'm doing miles like this, because I know once I start getting around to those big miles, when I start getting into the double digits, 10 miles, 11 miles, when I'm around there and I'm close to home, my mind starts wanting to tell me, 10 miles, that's still pretty good, You 3 more miles is what your goal was, or whatever the goal is, if it's 17 that day or whatever, that many more miles, well, you can make it up in the next few days. You're ready at 10 miles or 11 miles, and my brain always wants to tell myself well, you're so close to home. Let's just call it a day. You did good enough. Let's call it a day. So again, one of the basic things that I've learned is when I want to run big miles, it's to stay as far away as possible from my house, because if not, I'm gonna mentally want to tell myself to just, all right, I'm done. We're good. This is good enough. We'll make it up tomorrow. So that's one kind of basic thing of running. Another basic thing that I try to stick to is not, overexerting myself. you know, going full speed every single day. I'm trying to just listen to my body. And like I said earlier, I don't have some specific training plan that I follow. The main thing of my basics that I'm trying to stick to is just listening to my body. I know how many miles I want to pump out, but I'm not going out there and saying, oh, today's this many days or today's this many miles for sure, and sticking to it, you know, religiously. um, I am trying to stick to a somewhat, open plan idea, but the whole thing of, you know, just going out there and going going full ham every single day. I'm trying to just listen to my body. If my body don't want to go at a 9 minute pace, then we're not going to go at a 9 minute pace. We're going to go to 10 minute pace. Maybe my body that day feels like it's going to be a 8 minute pace, which I've done, and just cranked right through it. And then the next 2 days, I went to a 10 minute pace, and then went back to a 9 minute pace because I went so hard. So I'm just trying to listen to my body. That is my basics for my running. So whatever your basics can be, and whatever your basics are, and whatever the field is that you are trying to do, just stick to the basics. Sometimes you might be trying, like I said, to pretty it up a little bit too much. Maybe you're trying to add a little bit of too much pizzazz. Just stick to the same simple things that get the work done and get the job done. That's pretty much all there is to it. So that is today's episode 101. We talked about basics. We talked about how we're kind of in the trifecta with 99, 100, 101. If you have once you come across these problems, the best thing for you to do is to give it 100% and to just continue to stick to the basics. And yeah, this is the Defining Discipline podcast, guys. We are 101 episodes in, just cranking out the miles, cranking out the days, feeling good, feeling great. Got a half marathon in today, still feeling pretty good after, fueled up, got some food in, and we're going to get ready for tomorrow. Probably going to keep tomorrow not too crazy, maybe a 5K. We'll see how I feel. But the main thing is thank you guys so much for listening and following along to this podcast. If you guys can, please give this podcast a like, a follow, a subscribe, and a share on our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube, and whatever podcast streaming platform you guys listen to us on. If you guys can, please let anyone you may know who could benefit from this podcast, please share it with them. Other than that, guys, just make sure you guys stay disciplined. Keep pumping out the miles. Keep pumping out whatever it is you guys are doing. Just keep grinding. Stay disciplined. This is the Defining Discipline podcast. This is episode 101. I will see you guys tomorrow for episode 102. I'm your host, Scott. Peace out. Say bye.